The two most powerful forces you will ever feel in life are time and words. Once they slip away, you cannot chase them down or pull them back. They are gone forever. My friends, words carry a kind of magic that most people never truly understand. They can heal wounds that nobody sees. Or they can create scars that last for many years. They can lift someone up so high they feel like they can do anything. Or they can crush someone so deeply they never forget that second. You might have noticed how one simple line can make someone's whole day bright, while another sentence can stay stuck in their mind, playing again and again like an old echo they cannot turn off. Words cost nothing to speak, but their value is more than you can count. They seem small and simple, yet they hold the kind of power that can change a life's direction within a single moment. Now, before we go deeper, just do me a small favor. Tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me because today I'm going to give you a phrase so effective, so full of feeling, so impossible to ignore that almost every man who hears it will feel something he cannot easily fight. I want you to picture something. Imagine you are standing in front of a vending machine. You put in your money, press the button, and wait. But nothing drops, nothing moves. So what do? You push it, you shake it, you tap it harder. You try the same things again, hoping that eventually it works. That is exactly how many people treat relationships. They keep pressing the same emotional buttons, repeating the same lines, hoping things will suddenly get better, but nothing changes. Men are built in a certain way, and if you do not understand what moves them, what softens them, what makes them open up, you will keep using the wrong approach and wonder why nothing is moving. But today, I am giving you the key that unlocks all of that. A lot of people think men are simple creatures. Feed them, say something nice, and they are fine. But that idea is very far from the truth. Men feel deeply, often much more deeply than they show. The only difference is that society teaches them to hide their feelings, to act strong at all times, to keep their struggles inside, and to carry their problems without a word. Because of that, many men move through life with invisible weights pulling at them. They may not always tell you what is on their heart, but trust me, inside, they are wanting someone who can see past the surface. Here is the surprising part. Many women think they must have a perfect body, be endlessly interesting, or be very successful to keep a man's attention. But that is not what makes a man stay. A man stays where he feels valued, respected, understood, and emotionally safe. He stays where he feels seen, not just for what he does, but for who he is. Think about seeing a stray dog. It does not trust you right away. It keeps its distance. It might run even when you offer something good. Not because you meant to hurt it, but because it has been hurt before. It needs proof that you are safe. Over time, with gentleness, patience, and steady kindness, the dog finally relaxes. It finally sees that it can trust you. Men are very similar. Many carry emotional armor because life has taught them that showing feelings is dangerous. They will not drop that shield just because you want them to. They need proof that doing so will not hurt them. And nothing breaks through that armor faster than the right word said with total honesty at the right moment. Before you think this is about tricking or controlling a man, let me stop you. This is not about control. This is about understanding human feelings, understanding how men work on the inside, and learning to speak in a way that actually reaches their heart instead of bouncing off their defenses. Everyone talks, but very few actually connect. And once you know how to touch a man's inner world with your words, everything about your bond begins to shift. So, if you are ready to learn the phrase that can melt even the toughest heart, stay right where you are. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. And if you have not already, hit that like button, subscribe, and keep going with me. Words are either weapons or lifelines. They cost nothing to say, but depending on how you use them, they can either save something important or destroy something precious. Words can reopen old wounds, or they can help them finally close. They can create love or burn love down. One careless sentence can break trust. One honest phrase can make someone feel special for the rest of their life. Why do certain speeches make people cry while others make them fall asleep? Why do some couples stay deeply connected for years, even decades, while other couples lose their spark even though they say, "I love you," every day? It is because meaningful talk is not about how much you say. It is about how deeply your words land. It is the feeling behind the words that matters most. Imagine walking through a dark forest with only a single match. If you strike it carelessly, you can start a fire that destroys everything around you. But if you strike it carefully, it becomes the small flame that keeps you warm and leads you out of the darkness. That is exactly how words work. A sharp insult, a mean tone, or a sarcastic comment. These are sparks that can burn down trust, love, and connection. But a warm message, a deep reassurance, or a line that speaks straight to the soul, that creates comfort, safety, and closeness. So ask yourself honestly, how do you use your words? Are you building someone up or breaking them down without meaning to? Are you creating closeness or creating distance? Most people never stop to think about the weight of their words. They speak casually as if words are just sounds that float away, but words stay. Words last. They shape how people see themselves and how they see you. They can create invisible damage or invisible strength. Here is something many people overlook. Men, even the strongest-looking ones, are deeply affected by words. Society might push them to act tough, telling them to ignore feelings, ignore the pain, and keep going. But the truth is, men remember the words that cut them. They remember the harsh comment from a parent. They remember the rejection from someone they cared about. They remember the moment they felt ignored, small, or unimportant. Those memories do not go away. They stay stored inside them for years, and the right words, spoken with honesty and warmth, can reach that hidden part of them that rarely gets noticed. Maybe it came from never being thanked for everything he gives, or maybe it came from always feeling like his work went unnoticed. These things do not just fade away. They do not disappear with time. They stay buried inside, sometimes for years, sometimes for a whole lifetime. But the opposite is also true. A sincere, heartfelt word spoken at the right moment can bring life back into a man. It can strengthen him in ways you cannot see. It can remind him that he is more than his duty, more than his job, and more than the tasks he finishes every day. Words have changed nations, started wars, healed wounds, sparked movements, and begun love stories that shaped history. So once again I ask you, how are you using yours? Because very soon, I'm going to give you a phrase that can reach a man's heart in a way almost nothing else can. But before that, you must understand what men are truly wanting. And believe me, it is probably not what you imagine. Let us talk about a truth people rarely mention out loud. Society loves to praise the image of the unbreakable man, silent, tough, stone-faced, always in control, never needing help, and never showing weakness. But behind that mask lies a very different truth. Every man, no matter how confident or put together he may look, is starving for something inside, something emotional, something human, something he might not even know he is missing. Since they were boys, males hear the same phrases again and again. Don't cry, be strong, handle it yourself, don't show weakness. So, what do? They hide their feelings. They silence their emotions. They grow into men who are experts at pretending everything is fine. And they carry on like this every day, pushing through struggles like quiet warriors, showing up even when they feel empty. Picture a man walking through life wearing emotional armor, trying to protect himself from judgment, rejection, or letdowns. People assume he is okay because he never complains. They think he is calm because he does not show what he feels. But inside he is wanting something simple yet rare. He wants to feel seen. He wants someone to notice the effort he puts into everything, to hear someone say, "I know how much you try. I see your effort and it matters." Men are not searching for perfect women. They are searching for peace. They want someone who does not add more weight to their shoulders, but someone who helps them breathe easier. And one of the most powerful ways to give that peace is through your words. Have you ever noticed how a man might chase praise from his boss, or look for approval from his father, or look for validation from strangers online? That is not ego. That is hunger, emotional hunger. Because men are rarely told that they are enough. They are expected to be enough without ever hearing it. That silence becomes heavy. It builds walls. It creates distance. It teaches men to stop opening up. When someone feels unseen for too long, they eventually stop showing pieces of themselves. They pull away. They protect themselves. But you have the power to change that story. Your voice can become the place where he finally feels safe enough to lower his guard. Your words can be the permission he needs to finally let go of that weight he hides from the world. One genuine sentence, just one, can break through years of emotional quiet. It can make a man feel strong in a new way. It can make him feel chosen, valued, and important, not because of what he gives, but because of who he is inside. So, what is that powerful sentence? What can you say that hits deeper than the usual lines? We are almost there. Just one final truth before I give you the phrase. Let us explore something even deeper than love itself. Being heard, truly listened to, is so close to being loved that most people cannot see the difference. The world throws around compliments so easily. Flattery is simple. Anyone can say you are great, or you look good, or you are amazing. Men hear it, smile politely, and forget it moments later, because those words do not reach the part of them that is actually thirsty. Real words, the kind that move your heart, the kind that stay with you, the kind that leave a mark long after they are spoken. Those are rare. Imagine wandering through a desert with no water, the sun beating on your skin, your throat dry, your body begging for help. Someone hands you a cold soda. It might taste nice for a moment, but it will not save you. It will not give you water. It does not give what your body truly needs. That is what flattery is. Pleasant, light, maybe sweet, but not enough to satisfy the deeper need. What stops that thirst? Real understanding, real recognition, words that reach beyond the surface and touch the soul. The kind of words that make a man stop and think, "She actually sees me, she understands me." That is where everything changes. Because when a man feels not only seen, but deeply understood, you reach a part of him almost no one ever reaches. That is when he opens up. That is when he becomes loyal in a way that comes naturally. That is when he feels safe enough to show you the real version of himself. Now, are you ready for the phrase? Because what I am about to give you goes far beyond charm or beauty or anything physical. When you say it with truth and intent, something powerful happens. He listens, he softens, he responds. It hits him in a place he rarely lets anyone touch. And suddenly, he is not just hearing your words, he is feeling them. Most men walk through life unnoticed. They wake up early, fight through the day, handle responsibilities, manage stress, solve problems, and keep going even when they are tired. And when the day ends, very few people truly notice them. People say things like, "Nice job," or "You are doing great." But those lines are too general, too empty, too easy to forget. But when someone looks a man straight in the eyes and says, "I see you, I appreciate your effort. I respect what you do. Everything changes because that is not just a compliment. That is validation. That is emotional recognition. That is someone telling him he is not invisible. His work, his challenges, his energy, they matter. Men want respect and appreciation even more deeply than they want affection. That is not an opinion. That is something life repeatedly proves. That is something always confirmed through experience. That is something true at the core of almost every man you will ever meet. A woman can say, "I love you," every single day. But if her words are filled with mean comments, complaints, or small acts of disrespect, that love will not land. It will not feel warm. It will not feel safe. If she puts him down, questions his goals, or ignores the effort he brings to the table, he will feel drained and unseen, no matter how often she says she cares. But on the other hand, if she looks at him and says, "I respect what you do. I notice how hard you try. I truly appreciate you," that fills a man in a way nothing else can. That gives him a sense of strength, a sense of purpose, a sense of being valued. Those words give him energy. Those words make him want to move mountains, not because he has to, but because he wants to, for the person who sees him clearly. Respect is not just liking someone, it is honor. And when a man feels honored, when he feels like he is held in high regard, something inside him opens. He becomes a version of himself that is stronger, more present, more committed, and more loving. So let go of empty flattery. Leave behind the vague compliments that sound nice but do not touch the heart. Choose words that ring down to the core. Because when a man hears the simple truth, "I see you," it is like releasing a breath he has been holding for years. It is like stepping into the shade after being under a burning sun. It brings relief. It brings peace. Now, you might be wondering, when should you say this? How do you express it in a way that hits deeply instead of sounding like a routine? Timing matters more than people think, because the right word said at the wrong moment can miss the heart completely. But the right word said at the right time can change a relationship. And that is exactly what we are about to dive into. So keep listening, stay focused, and let us move forward together. Respect is one of the purest forms of love. If love is the fire that warms a connection, then respect is the oxygen that keeps that flame alive. Without it, the fire slowly dies. No matter how much affection is there, if respect is missing, everything else begins to break. A man might hear "I love you" over and over, but if he feels talked down to, ignored, or not appreciated, those words eventually lose their meaning. Love without respect is like offering someone food, but never giving them a place to sit and rest. They might have something to eat, but they stay hungry in a deeper, more emotional way. Imagine a knight in shining armor. He enters battle, fights the fight, protects the kingdom, and returns home bruised, tired, and worn out. At the end of the day, what do you think matters most to him? The cheers of the people, the gold, or the prizes? No, the thing that matters most is the queen's look. The moment she looks him in the eyes and says, "I see you. I honor your strength. I respect all that you have done." That recognition means more than any reward. Because here is a truth many people overlook. A man would rather stand alone than stay with someone who does not respect him. That is not pride. That is emotional survival. And here is the sad part. Most women do not even realize when they are being disrespectful. Men rarely speak up about it, but they feel it. They feel it when their ideas are brushed aside. They feel it when they are spoken to with anger. They feel it when they put in effort but hear only what they did not do right. They feel it when their sacrifices go unnoticed. They feel it when their tiredness is ignored instead of understood. And when a man feels constantly disrespected, one of two things happens. He shuts down completely, or he slowly pulls away from the relationship. Either way, the emotional bond begins fading. often long before anyone realizes why. But when a man feels respected, when he knows his effort is seen, when he senses that the person beside him honors his struggle and recognizes his strength, he becomes fully alive. Respect tells a man, "I value not just the results you bring, but the weight you carry to bring them." It tells him he does not have to be perfect to be appreciated. It tells him he is worthy even when he is tired, unsure, or hurting. When a man receives that, he does not just feel loved, he feels safe, safe to be himself, safe to show feelings, safe to trust fully. Respect does not just make a man feel good, it fuels him. It pushes him to be better, stronger, and more reliable. It unlocks the best version of him because he knows he is not standing alone. Every great man in history, every leader, every warrior had someone behind them who said, "I believe in you. I respect your strength. I trust what you can do." That voice creates courage. That voice builds confidence. That voice keeps him going when the world gets heavy. So ask yourself honestly, do you respect the man in your life? Truly respect him, not just when he is winning and confident, but also when he is tired, stressed, or unsure. Not just when he is calm, but when he is emotional. Because here is the truth. Men want respect the same way women want love. And once you understand that, everything about your relationship with a man becomes clearer and easier. If you are wondering how to show that kind of respect in a way that goes straight into his soul, you are right where you need to be, because next you are going to get the exact words that make a man feel more respected, more valued, and more emotionally understood than ever before. But first, let us talk about something equally important: vulnerability. The world has twisted the meaning of being open, but the real truth is this: vulnerability is strength. It is not weakness to say, "This is who I am," without walls or defenses. It is an act of bravery to show your unpolished, imperfect, still healing parts. Imagine you have been wearing heavy armor for years. It is tight. It is uncomfortable. It weighs on you. But you learned to carry it because life taught you that you needed it. Maybe you were hurt. Maybe you were judged. Maybe you were ignored or left alone. So you protected yourself. Now imagine standing across from someone else who is also wearing armor. Both of you hidden behind layers. What do you think happens? Nothing real. No connection. No closeness. Just two guarded people pretending everything is fine. But the moment one of you takes off even a small piece of that armor, the situation changes. It is like lowering your weapon on a battlefield. It shows trust. It says, "I feel safe enough with you to let you see the real me. Can you trust me enough to do the same?" And here is something people rarely understand. Men need this invitation more than anyone realizes. From boyhood, they are told the same message again and again. Be strong, be silent, do not show fear, do not show tears, do not show pain. So they hide everything under the armor. They lock away their soft parts. They pretend they do not feel what they feel. But deep down, men want someone who allows them to take that weight off, even if only for a moment. That idea that showing emotions makes someone weak, that opening up about their inner world is something to feel ashamed of, is something many men grow up believing without even realizing it. So instead of facing their feelings, they swallow them, push them aside, and pretend they do not matter. They carry old wounds quietly without telling anyone. They walk around with battles inside them that no one ever sees, fears that they never name out loud, doubts that sit heavy on their chest even when they laugh or act confident. And most of the time they think they have to deal with all of it alone, because somewhere along the way they were taught that silence is strength. But here is a truth most people never hear. When a man sees you allow yourself to be open, when he sees that you are not afraid to be soft or honest, something important happens inside him. Your honesty tells him something he rarely hears in his life. You do not need to be perfect with me. You do not need to hide. You can be real. You can let down your guard. And that feeling, that sense of freedom from what people expect, is something many men never feel anywhere else. It is like taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long. There is a simple phrase, not complicated or poetic, but powerful in a quiet way that can reach even a man who hides behind silence. When you say it honestly with warmth, it can break through walls he did not even know he built. The words are, "I believe in you, and I am here no matter what." Not, "I am here if you do everything right." Not, "I am here only when you look strong." Not, "I am here as long as you never fall." Just, "I am here always."